college football all day. It's a Football Friday right here on The Zone. Whether it's the Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, we've got you covered. This is a Football Friday edition of Hans Olsen and Scotty G, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Vicky, come over here.
Hey, it's time to catch up. It's a Football Friday, but Alema Harrington's calling high school games, and Ron McBride is over in Hawaii. But he is joining us right now via the phone. Coach, how are you?
What, good. I couldn't be better. Yeah.
Oh, Coach, we miss you. I miss seeing you. How's Hawaii?
Well, right now I'm on the third floor, looking out over the ocean here at Turtle Bay. Most gorgeous morning ever, and the sun is out, and it's just been unbelievable. And I forgot how pretty this part of the island is. You know, you if you haven't been here in a while, you forget how gorgeous it is, and it's an unbelievable facility.
So, Coach, I need some advice, and I want to get your thoughts on this because I've got these grand plans. I bought a couple of properties in Florida, and I want to move to Florida for parts of the winter and then come back to Utah. Why don't you move out to Hawaii? You're basically the mayor of that area. Why did you never move out there, or at least do a part-time out there?
Well, that's a good question, because I don't think I don't know if Vicky would have been for moving to Hawaii for a period of time, and then kind of when I got to that point when I retired, up at Weber, maybe I was kind of aged out on all that stuff, and it just, but it is, you forget the beauty of it and the people and all that, it's just unbelievable.
Is high school football as healthy there as it's ever been?
Yeah, well, you know what? It's interesting because once you're here, you start getting all the stories, right, from every place. Okay, you get the stories from what's going on over at what's going on at Kahuku, which is positive because they're going to be in the state finals, or you find out the negative things that are happening at St. Louis, where they lost. They have to travel around to find fields to play on, or where they have their games, and then of course everybody's quite happy with Timmy Chang at UH because I think their record is good and they played well, and so now that people are worried that he may leave, if he has an opportunity.
No.
So yeah. So anyways, but so it's the usual thing over here. It's pluses and minuses, with the football programs and what's going on. But go ahead.
How's the charity golf tournament coming along?
Good. Well, we're having on Saturday. We're having a get-together over here at the Marriott, and it's going to be almost all former players, union representatives, hospital representatives, plus the people that are here. So the group I came over with are all investors in projects here in Hawaii, and big investors. So, they'll all be there. So, yeah, it's quite a group.
The coach, Ron McBride, with us right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Were you surprised after what you saw Texas Tech do to Utah? Were you surprised that BYU had the struggles that they had in that game? Not
really, no, because it just, of all the teams that I saw in person this year, Texas Tech was the best team I saw in person. And I think that Utah's a close second. And then you got and BYU, you got to give BYU credit because those guys play. They no matter who they're playing, they're going to play until the last man is counted out. And if BYU had a chance to play Texas Tech again, I'm sure they learned a lot from that game. But Texas Tech is a pretty special group.
So, Coach, if you kind of go back to your years of coaching, whether it was Mount West Conference or WAC or whatever form that you were coaching in, you're coming down the stretch in conference play. Both BYU and Utah have 3 games left. Both of them truly do control their destiny. What type of mentality as a coach are you carrying into practice, and what are you telling your guys? Because BYU's lost their wiggle room. They've got to find a way to win all 3. Utah's lost their wiggle room. They got to win all 3. How are you managing the anxieties? How are you managing practices and trying to get the mindset of these players right?
So what you've done is in the off season you prepared your team for this run. You prepared them for this time of year, and if you've done it right, you should have a lot left in the tank to finish out, because you've actually prepared your team for this mentally in the off season. And so both coaches, I know Kyle completely understands that, particularly Doug Alisai in the weight room, he understands it, and the people that are all the background people understand it. So they're preparing, their teams for this end run. And it's done a long time ago. So knowing the people at BYU and the people at Utah, I think both teams will be at their best to finish out the last 3 games.
So you look at let's go to BYU welcoming in TCU. TCU hasn't been great this year. They've had their issues. Do you worry that BYU might have a little bit of a hangover off of that loss, or do you anticipate Kalani and his crew will take care of business and maybe take some frustration out on those guys?
Well, I think that I think TCU is a pretty legit team, but they're coming into BYU. I think BYU, if I know the type of players they have, those guys are upset. They're mad. They're not feeling sorry for themselves. They're a pretty mature group, So I would expect BYU to come out and play extremely well and probably take over the game early in the first drive of the third quarter. I would think that BYU will be controlling this game.
Coach, how would you manage your running backs with any type of injury? Because L.J. Martin didn't look totally whole against Texas Tech. From what I understand, got out of that game unscathed, so had another week to heal. But how would you manage your running backs through a week of practice when they were dealing with a shoulder as compared to maybe a leg?
Well, what you do is you put a red vest on them, and they're untouchable in practice. Don't hit them. Don't try to rake the ball out. Don't do anything to disrupt them and make sure that because I tell you what, the running back at BYU is invaluable because they don't have guys behind him. So that guy has to be at his absolute best. And so they don't have the luxury of saying, okay, LJ can't go, but our next guy up is just as good. But they don't have that luxury.
How do you look at, with what you saw the University of Utah coming off the bye week, how confident are you that they will not just handle Baylor, but, end the season on this hot streak that they've been on over the last 2 weeks?
Well, I think right now they're a really good football team. I look for them to run the ball on Baylor and probably dominate from the run game. And if their run game is what it's been in the past, it'll open up the throw game. It'll be, I think it'll be, Utah in the second half. I think we'll win this game by a couple of touchdowns.
Coach, when you gave Jason Beck his initial opportunity in starting coaching, why did you give it to him? What did you see in him that made you think, I'm going to hire this guy? And as you've watched him grow, how impressed are you with him through his growth and especially with what he's done this year?
Well, he had really good references, from people that I knew, and said that this guy, is going to really be a great quarterback guy, very smart, and he remind me a lot of Kevin McGivern when we hired him. That he had the same qualities, kind of quiet but very efficient, very smart. And very much a team guy, not an eye guy. And what he's done is he's grown a lot, and he's more confident now, and he knows what he's doing, where he's going. This guy has a very bright future.
Devin Dampier appears to be healthy. When you see him and what he's able to do when he's healthy, coming off this bye week, just how dynamic does that make this Utah offense? And when you can run the ball, as much as I think we all anticipate that they'll be able to run the ball in Baylor, do you even really try to push it down the field, or do you just stick behind the run and just let them have it?
No, just do your thing, but create the fact that they're going to have to put more people in the box to defend the run, and then it's going to open up a big play out of the passing game. And and now Utah has kind of discovered more people that can play, as it's gone on in the roster. So there's more guys that they figured out. This guy is a difference maker. This guy's a difference maker. So they've discovered more people, and they're starting to utilize more people. So it's and God bless Kyle for it. He lets Jason Beck do his thing, and it appears to be. I was a little worried after the BYU game that they'd try to maybe shuttle him down a little bit and try to, control what he's doing, but they just let him do his thing, and what has happened is, they're doing what they want when they want, and they're using a variety of formations to get what they need. They got a heavy package, they got a split package, they got but they got people that fit the packages.
So, Coach, both BYU and Utah are facing pocket quarterbacks, really non-mobile quarterbacks
Right.
that aren't looking to leave the pocket. As a defensive mind, just kind of knowing what both BYU and Utah have as personnel up front, their linebackers and blitz ability, how do you see them attacking these two quarterbacks in Sawyer Robertson and Josh Hoover?
Well, the nice thing about BYU is that Jack is healthy, and the other playmaker out there is healthy. So Jack had his best game against Texas Tech that he's had in like 3 weeks. So he looked like the Jack of old because he wasn't favoring his shoulder. He was running. He was making plays. And so Jack and the other kid out there, they're going to make a big difference. And I thought that the inside guys showed up. I thought the nose guard, I thought had a pretty good game. Looked like he was hustling and moving. I think BYU's speed and depth in the defensive side of the ball will be a huge difference. And then on Utah's side, it's going to be the offensive line basically controlling the line of scrimmage and opening things up to do whatever they want to do.
Well, Coach, always a pleasure. Have a good time there in Hawaii, and we look forward to catch up with you next week.
Okay, so how are you guys doing?
We're doing good, Coach.
Doing good.
We just miss you.
Yeah.
It's not the same. And a lima ditched us, too.
Well, where's the lima?
Oh, he's calling high school games.
It says high school games are more important.
Okay, well, but I'm going to just shout out to these people that I flew with on the plane, and Deloy Hansen, his wife Julie, Joey Beechan, his wife Becky, James Clark, MJ, Red, all these people, they've been fantastic. So, anyways, I'm going to have a great day, and I'm going to have a lot of fun.
I bet it. And when Coach goes to Hawaii, there's no Spirit Island or Airlines here. He's going private.
Oh, yeah, he's going private. And when Coach goes to Hawaii, nobody's tracking his sugar consumption.
No, Coach, sugar doesn't count in Hawaii. So go crazy.
Well, so my son-in-law's with me, and so he has to report of what I'm eating to Grandma.
Oh, boy.
And so they had this candy thing, and people are eating this candy like it's water. I mean, you get a small. And they said, "You ought to have one." I said, "No, I can't." And then I pulled one out and then Red threw it away. And so, yeah.
Oh man.
So they're so they got a watchdog. So Red's a watchdog on this trip. Yeah. But
Vicky may not be there, but her influence is always there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but yeah.
All right.
Okay. Hey.
See you, Coach. Have a good time.
Love you, Coach.
You guys love you too. Have a good day.
All right.
Let's bring back a victory for the BYU and the Utah. And the other thing is important. We got to hire Weber State, so that's another big thing. Okay.
Hey, and we just need you to get your butt back on an airplane and be back here for next Friday because we're not doing phone stuff for 25 minutes. We need you 2 hours.
Oh, no, don't worry. Hey, I feel guilty for not being there. So, hey, I'll fulfill my requirement, and I'll be glad to be back, and I miss your company. But, hey, this was a trip I had to go on.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
All right, brother.
Okay.
See you, Coach.
See you, Coach.